Now it's time for Instant Wisdom. Martin Luther King Jr. is one of the great leaders of the 20th century, leading spokesperson of the civil rights movement from 1954 until he was assassinated in 1968. Now, we have a lot of talk about leadership. I mentioned the lack of leadership earlier in my comments about climate change. Well, if you want to see the real deal, have a look at Martin Luther King Jr.'s advocacy for equality and civil rights, a man who talked the talk, walked the walk. Inspired by Gandhi and his Christian beliefs, he advocated advancing civil rights through nonviolence, civil disobedience. His message was inclusive, very different from today. He preached love and forgiveness. Tragically, he was shot and killed 50 years ago this week. But on August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King joined 6 civil rights organizations in organizing a march on Washington. More than 250,000 people marched to the National Mall and heard what's on everyone's short list for great speeches in American history. Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech lasted 17 minutes. But interestingly, the most famous part was a departure from his prepared speech. He ad-libbed it. Maybe you don't know this, but famed singer Mahalia Jackson is reported to have shouted to him during the speech, "Tell them about the dream," and the rest is history.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
What an incredible moment. He's an incredible man. And no wonder, by the way, I think he's one of only 2 people in the United States who have a national holiday. Martin Luther King Day, of course. But again, I think what's so important, besides his message, is his leadership. And it is so contrary to the caliber of leadership we see today. In tone, obviously, but also in message. As I say, his message was inclusive. He wanted everyone to come together to create a society where equality reigned. He did preach love and forgiveness. It was quite something. Absolutely quite something.